Good news about Nnamdi Kanu, or should I say breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Last, we got this information that the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Johnson, has reassigned the case of Nnamdi Kanu to another judge, which is very nice because if you can remember, this is the exact thing that caused the serious issue that happened in the last sitting of this same case, where Justice Binta Nyako reappeared on the case to start handling it again after recusing herself previously. But of course, Nnamdi Kanu did not take it lightly with them, so he objected them vehemently, where he even went forward to be bringing out rules and regulations of the court, which they has disobeyed. But last now, they have decided to follow the right procedure by reassigning the case to another judge, which is very wonderful. And kudos to the legal counsel of Nnamdi Kanu and the chief lead counsel, who is Aloy Ejimako. They have been doing wonderful work to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu received justice and appropriate judgment. Now, don't forget that Nnamdi Kanu has requested previously that if no other judge can handle this case in Abuja, that they should transfer the whole thing to the east, which sparked up so many reactions on social media because of the gbas that is happening in the east about this unknown government and others. But nevertheless, there is this interview I'm going to allow you to listen to by Anosike. But as you are listening to it, make sure you are clicking on that share button and also subscribe in case if you have never done so for more updates. And after that, I'll be back. Let's go there.
In the studio, we have Mr. Peter Anosike. Mr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you join us on the issues.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. And of course, also joining us virtually, we'll be having Momo, who will be joining us from Benin. Great to have you join us on the issues. All right, so understand that virtual guest is still here to join us from Benin. While definitely it looks like Mr. Anosike will be taking a lion's share. Definitely not a patient dog in this case. But Mr. Anosike, it looks like Nnamdi Kanu's case has continued to drag on for far too long. And now he has decided to issue a lawsuit against the government. And one particular area that interests me is the fact that he is demanding and requesting that his case be transferred to the southeast. In the context of Nigeria's federal legal system and regional politics, how significant is this request?
For me, I'm not really in support of that transferring his case to the southeast. Because I don't want him to be released based on sympathy. Understand? Maybe it is a judge from his own region that set him free. No. Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any offense. Even if it's possible, let them transfer this case to a court in Katsina. That's Buhari's own state. Let them transfer this case to Daura. I want Nnamdi Kanu to be discharged and acquitted as a hero, not on sympathetic basis. Because one, I don't know what Ejimako is really doing. I don't understand him. One, we shouldn't be talking about transferring case at this point in time. That's what is known as diligent prosecution, which the federal government has failed. And once a suit cannot be diligently prosecuted, the suspect should be discharged and acquitted. So saying transfer this case to the southeast to me, I don't know what they want to achieve by it. Even it cannot even be possible that to start with. It cannot be possible. DSS said that any day they take Nnamdi Kanu that to court, they spend 500 million. 500 million taking Nnamdi Kanu from Abuja Detention Center to the court. So imagine how much they would spend in taking him from Abuja to maybe to a court in maybe Enugu or wherever, Umuahia.
Are there no detention centers in those areas too?
They will cite security issues.
I mean, they'll be spending close to 5 billion.
Understand me? And again, if Nnamdi Kanu is transferred, the case is transferred to the southeast, court cannot sit.
Are you talking about crowd problem or security breaches?
Crowd problem which nobody can manage. If the court is to sit by that 9 a.m., from the night of that day, people will be trooping to the court. Understand me? So it shouldn't. They shouldn't be talking about transferring his case now. They should be asking for unconditional release. That's on the part of the president, or discharged and acquitted by the court. I have said it before that Nnamdi Kanu is supposed to be the complainant of this case, because it is him that the federal government infringed upon. It is federal government that committed offense against Nnamdi Kanu. It is not Nnamdi Kanu, understand me? It is not the other way around. Please understand me. So the issue now is he asking for an apology and compensation is his right, because justice delayed is justice denied. They have denied him of all that makes him a human being. His essence of a human being has been denied. So he has every right to ask for compensation. Even for me, that 100 million is not even much.
100 billion.
Okay, 100
compensation.
Billion. Yeah. He merited it. His father and mother died because of this.
Okay.
Understand me? His father and mother died because of this.
While he was in detention?
When the soldiers invaded their house in Umuahia.
That was before he was detained.
You understand me? So his family has not known peace. His wife has not known peace. His children has not known peace. So whatever amount they ask for in compensation, they merit it.
What was he, according to the story of how he was detained, what was he actually doing in Kenya? Because the story said he was actually caught in Kenya.
He was kidnapped in Kenya by
what was the story
government.
Was that he went on a spree, of course, on an enjoyment spree when he was in Kenya, went to Kenya.
It is his right.
His right to do what?
It is his right to go anywhere.
To Kenya.
It is his right to go to Kenya, to South Africa, to Namibia, to Ghana. He's not a wanted citizen.
What about the activity that took him to Kenya? Because it looked like he was lured to Kenya and according to he was kidnapped.
Went to Kenya just as any other Nigerian can visit any part of the world. You cannot dictate to me where I should go or where I should not go.
The story that he didn't actually decide to go to Kenya. He was lured.
It is speculation.
According to this, what was the speculation?
It is speculation.
That he was lured to Kenya.
There's already a precedent.
What was the precedent?
There's already a precedent. In 1984, Buhari, as the military head of state, sent people to go and kidnap Omar Diko in UK.
Okay.
So this is what Buhari has been doing right from time. So the same way he sent people to go to Kenya and kidnap Nnamdi Kanu.
If Nnamdi Kanu was not lured by what took him to Kenya,
I don't know where you are.
No, okay, whatever took him to Kenya, but the story is a different.
Business can take him to Kenya.
The story making
Kenya
the news.
is a very beautiful country.
The story did not say he went there on business.
Kenya is a very beautiful country. People tourists go to Kenya to see animals.
But the story says differently. It says he actually went on a pleasure. No, according to the rumors.
Who wrote the story?
According to the rumors, he went on.
Who wrote the story?
Was it about who wrote the story?
Who wrote the story?
Okay, what about there's no smoke without fire?
I said, who wrote the story? Enemies of the Igbos can write anything. For me, Nnamdi Kanu, as a free citizen, has the right to visit any country that he wants.
The circumstances of...
Or the matter here is he was kidnapped by the Nigerian government.
The sympathies he's enjoying now.
Which is sympathy?
From those who see him as a hero, like you. Now.
He is a prisoner of conscience.
Okay.
Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. He's not a criminal. He's not commit any offense. Understand me? It's just like Nelson Mandela being in prison for asking for the right of his people. Nnamdi Kanu is asking for the right of the Igbo people.
What about the way he went about it? Because we saw a lot of talking about inciting comments, telling people on insulting and making insulting comments against even the sitting president, and even calling a lot of people names I cannot really use because we're on a TV platform.
Are those names unfounded? Excuse me, if somebody is behaving like an idiot, you call him an idiot, is it an insult?
Perhaps.
No,
not everybody will accept to be called an
everybody that is behaving like an idiot should be called an idiot. Understand me?
So in this case, a lot of Nigerians who he called that word
called
actually behaving. Okay, should I say the word idiot again?
As anybody that is behaving like an idiot, and you call him an idiot, you did not insult him.
You also say a lot of things about Nigerians.
Are they unfounded? What Nnamdi Kanu said about Nigeria, are they unfounded? Are you not experiencing it? Are you not feeling it?
What about the threats?
Those who want to live in denial can live in denial. Nigeria is not working as we speak.
What about the threats?
Of what?
A lot of threats he was making in his videos.
Against who?
Against the system.
You are talking like a representative of the Nigerian state.
I don't have to be the president. I'm just
state.
No, I'm not a representative of the Nigerian state. I am stating from the videos that are already online. I'm not saying this because I'm saying it to represent anybody. We're stating the fact. A lot of things that have happened. The fact of the videos that were so inciting, a lot of them.
Do you understand what's meant by deep fake?
Deep fake.
Deep fake.
Okay, you mean that those videos were actually fake, were doctored to implicate?
So don't believe everything you see on the social media.
Has Nnamdi Kanu come to deny those comments, those videos that you're calling deep fake now?
Don't believe everything you see on the social media.
So you're saying
people are doing a lot of bad things on the social media.
So you're saying that Nnamdi Kanu must have been framed by deep fake videos?
In this particular case, Nnamdi Kanu has every right to ask for a transfer of his case.
So we are the Southeast, which you say that is not.
I said he has the constitutional right. I can do that. You can charge me to a court. I look at the judge and see bias. I say no, I don't want this judge to try my case. Transfer it to another court or give it to another judge. That's one. Number two, he has the right to ask for unconditional release because they have been unable to provide witnesses or judge his case for more than 3 years now. He has every right to ask for compensation because it is his right that is being mandate. It is his name that is being destroyed.
But the way the case is going, do you think that Nnamdi Kanu is going to get any fair hearing?
Nnamdi Kanu will come out as another Nelson Mandela.
With his outburst at the last time in court.
It makes no meaning.
Or we will know the state of the judiciary.
I say it makes no meaning. There's nowhere in the constitution that any judge will see anything to jail Nnamdi Kanu. There's nowhere in the constitution that the judge will see anything to jail Nnamdi Kanu. If there is, they will have jailed him since.
In the judiciary which you have so much criticized, are they acting like a judiciary that's independent?
Forget that.
No, I'm trying to bring
that. I said there's nowhere in the constitution that they will see anything because what Nnamdi Kanu as a learned person abide by the charter of that abide by the laws in all the things that he is saying.
Okay.
Understand me? On the issue of fundamental human rights,
okay,
he is there. Understand me? On self-determination, which is a charter in the UN, which Nigeria also domesticated. You cannot hold him on that.
Do you think the judiciary is not aware of this? Because now we've seen the situation where a judge recused herself and insisting to return back to the case.
She was fought back.
Does that reflect a judiciary that have independent thought or line of thought? Because they are meant to interpret the constitution.
This is not a river state. Understand me? Nnamdi Kanu case is not a river state issue.
But we've seen the case drag on for too long. Does it show that the judiciary is acting independently?
Because there's nothing that they can pin on him.
That means the judiciary is not acting independently. They are not interpreting the constitution, which is their sole responsibility.
The case is dragging because there's nothing that they can pin on him.
So who is now holding Nnamdi Kanu? Since the judiciary has
nothing. Who is holding him?
You're talking about the president because he was not there when he was arrested.
He inherited him.
He inherited the case. But a lot of plea have been going to the president. Why does it look like nothing is coming out in terms of...
I said Tinubu inherited Nnamdi Kanu from Buhari, assuming there's anything in the law to convict Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu would have been in prison before Tinubu became president.
In whose interest is Nnamdi Kanu still being held in detention? Whose interest does it really benefit?
Igbo haters.
Who are the Igbo haters?
The Nigerian state.
Who leads the Nigerian states in this state you're talking about? Because
go and make some research.
What kind of research you want me to still make? Because you're here to educate us.
You say whose interest? I told you Igbo haters. You say who are the Igbo haters? I told you Nigerian state.
Okay.
That answers your question.
Of course, there are people who's moving the motion on behalf of the Nigerian state.
Okay. Then
you don't know them.
You think of it, but I told you it is the Nigerian state that is holding Nnamdi Kanu and not the judiciary.
What about the international community? We've not heard anything about their own line of thought. Like, normally we'll have a situation where the United Nations will want to say something about Nnamdi Kanu's case. We have not seen any pressure from the international community on the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Is it that those behind Nnamdi Kanu, talking about his lawyers, and those in IPOB are not taking his case to the international community to intervene? Like it was during the days of Sarura, who had some bit of interest internationally.
The international community is watching.
Is watching.
The international community is watching.
And not active.
UK is watching. United States is watching. Canada is watching. Everybody is watching. But in the mind of the people, they know that there's nothing in the Nigerian Constitution that they can use to jail Nnamdi Kanu. That's the truth.
What about the influence of the international community in this case? Since it looks like nothing is coming forth in terms of helping the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
They will release Nnamdi Kanu, but by the time is when. But out of releasing Nnamdi Kanu will be released unconditionally.
You're so hopeful.
He will be released unconditionally.
All right, we understand that our virtual guest has finally decided to join us, talking about our comrade Ibrahim Momo. He's a lecturer of political science at the Ambrose Ali University in Ekpoma. He's a political affairs analyst. It's great to have you join us on the issues. Good evening, comrade.
That was a bit intriguing.
Okay, the network has finally allowed you to join us. I think that would be the best word. Sorry about that.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're just talking about the situation of Nnamdi Kanu. He has demanded 100 billion naira in compensation. And he is also cited that his case be transferred to the southeast. In all of this, what do you make of all of this lawsuit and this demand from Nnamdi Kanu? Do you think that the Nigerian government is going to heed, or will the constitution allow, or with the judges who have been delaying his case, allow such to happen?
Well, I don't have the full details of that particular issue.
Okay.
But I think that ideally, what one would expect is that there will be rule of law. One of the first, the basic prism on which the rule of law is based, that one law must be recognized by all. It is not if a particular kind of law for the political elite or some selected few, and there are another set of elite laws for others. So I think that essentially, when there is a judgment or a ruling, it behoves on all parties to the suit to adhere to the judgment, the element of the judgment. That's what I can say on a broader note.
Okay, that's all you can say on the broader note. But what do you make of his continued detention? And does it look like, with the recent outbursts in court, does it look like there's any light at the end of the tunnel in terms of Mr. Anoski believes that he's going to be released unconditionally? Do you believe it's going to be so, or is he going to be there for another long time? Because it's looking like they have nothing on him, but they are still holding on to Nnamdi Kanu. And whose interest does it benefit? Talking about the prolonged detention of Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, well, I think it's part of the fundamental rights, of citizens of every nation to exercise freedom of movement, freedom of association. These are basic fundamental rights that are non-negotiable. And then added to this is the fact that there has been a ruling of the court of competent court. I'm not sure if it is a Supreme Court that I thought that's released. If it is a Supreme Court, I'm not sure. I'm not. I just want to be certain and not don't want to be emphatic when I'm not certain. Um, if it's not the Supreme Court, maybe their excuse will be that, well, um, they are trying to appeal, or they are appealing to a court of higher jurisdiction. But ideally, when there is a ruling, specific ruling, what you could, this globally, there are those kinds of rulings that will say, okay, the the person who is under trial, even though it's released, must not leave a particular jurisdiction of the court, particularly of the court. Say, okay, where the court covers that if you're going to need to travel or to move outside of that jurisdiction, you have to come back to the court, to seek leave of the court to embark on that travel, maybe for health ground or for maybe family reasons and so on and so forth. So I think that if there's a competent a ruling by competent court ordering its release, I think the government ought to obey that. But we have seen over the years, not only in Nigeria, even abroad, in some of those what you might call saner climes or developed countries, we have seen where there's flagrant abuse, of human rights, basic rights of humans, freedom of movement, for example. Even when there are valid court judgments, to the effect to enforce that right, you'll see an abuse or ignoring those judgments, and I think it is not good, for the issue for rule of law, for those kind of situations to occur. This is my position on this.
All right, what does it look like when the international community is silent on this matter? And should they be playing a role in addressing Kanu's legal battles? And what
use me correctly, lecturer in political science at the Ambrose Ali University. Even though we teach politics, I've always had this kind of conflict, telling my students, that there is the principle and there is the pragmatic element. There is the standard practice, what is, what ought to be. But there's also the what is. We have seen that those who, for example, get to power because of provisions of the law. The president of Nigeria, for example, can only be president of Nigeria because the constitution says that the president will be so elected by the election management body. And when he is sworn into office, he's sworn into office to uphold the constitution in the second instance. And then sometimes you see that when they are sworn, I'm not really sensitive about the president, with all due respect to him and his office. And then that sometimes you see elected officials of states, upon getting to office, what we see, and very, very, very disturbingly, is that they are the ones who even, abuse or I don't know what the word to use. They are the ones who do not obey the law. They are the lawmakers. Oftentimes are becoming increasingly lawbreakers, literally, and it's something of a worry to me. Yeah, sometimes you say it's a democracy.
Confirm. Now, with this new update and this interview you just finished listening to now, what do you think? Do you think that they have decided to follow the right channel and do the right thing? Or is this still going to be the same story as usual? But nevertheless, share your thought with me on the comment section. And of course, you know the vibe now. Click on that subscribe button, follow, and share for more updates. Because like this, we move.